Hello everybody, thank you for joining me today. I do truly appreciate it. And I got a package in the mailbox, go figure. The friendly neighborhood mail lady has hooked a brother up with a package. A package from Lividian Publications, one of my absolute favorite publishers who ever lived, Brian James Freeman, the founder of the Feast, the guy who is behind Lividian Publications, one of the all-time greats. And this one I showed you, Leviathan, book number 192, maybe? I don't know. I can't remember. I've got numbers, and hopefully they're all matching. I haven't been checking. But one of my favorite authors, walking God's green earth, is a fellow by the name of Robert McCammon. And I'm sure you've heard of books like Swan Song and Boy's Life. But he's got a series that he has wrapped up with a bow. Pretty ribbon, pretty paper, called the Matthew Corbett series. And the Matthew Corbett series, the first book is called Speaks the Nightbird. And I got some cool copies of Speaks the Nightbird. And I venture to say, I do believe that Speaks the Nightbird is my favorite Robert McCammon book. Now, that being said, it's book one of a 10-book series. And this is book 10, the last one, the finale. First of all, I read the book. I think I did a review for the book. He ties it up very nicely. He stuck the finish, as he usually does. But he wrapped that series up in such a cool way and sends you home with some food for thought. Some things to keep your imagination active, if you will, the possibilities. Even though he may never actually exercise those opportunities, it's a very, very, very neat, what do they call it in a book? Where you finish the book, and then now you have a little bit more. That's not really that story, but it's something else to consider. What do they call that? Anyway, epilogue? Is that it? Epilogue, yes, I'm educated. The epilogue really, really is a lot of fun, too. But the Matthew Corbett series is one that I probably wouldn't have even bothered to read if it weren't for Robert McCammon being such a great author. It's the first one, Speaks the Nightbird, starts 1699 in the colonies in North Carolina. And this guy, Matthew Corbett, he's a nobody. He's a scribe for a traveling magistrate. And there's this little town in North Carolina that's dying off. They've got a witch. They've got her locked up. They want the magistrate to officially declare her a witch legally so that they could kill her. And Matthew Corbett is the magistrate's scribe. He writes down everything for him, reads it back to him, and all that kind of stuff. But Matthew Corbett, he's got this thing going on in his brain. When he sees a puzzle, he has to solve it, and he's good at it. But it gnaws at him, and he can't just let it go. He has to solve the puzzle. And naturally, when he shows up in a town and they're saying this lady's a witch, killer, he instantly starts figuring out that a lot of the stuff they're saying just wouldn't work. As you probably would assume, there's stuff that isn't adding up for them to declare her a witch and kill her. And so Matthew has to start unraveling the threads. Meanwhile, he's the subject of this powerful magistrate, and he's loyal to the guy that gives him a job, and he cares about him and takes care of him in many ways. He has to be very careful not to cross and be found that he's helping a witch, and that wouldn't go so well for him either. But Speaks the Nightbird is that story, and it's the type of a story I never really... I don't know why, I can't even explain it, but I never really had a lot of interest in that era. Now, I know it's a very important era, especially in the United States. Being an American, it's an important part of our nation's history. Just something about all that stuff never really excited me too much until I read Speaks the Nightbird. Robert McCammon did a great job of immediately, bam, instantly bringing you into a story, making you care about the people, making you feel what they feel, think what they think, worry about the things they worry about, taking you back in time, if you will, to 1699. Now, the series goes on. There's 10 books, and this is the 10th book. This one, I think, is 1704. And Matthew's saga in each book advances a little bit. He goes from being a scribe to essentially a detective, a problem solver, and then he makes powerful enemies. And he has to go lots of places and do lots of things. He falls in all sorts of stuff. I don't want to spoil the series for you, but I strongly recommend Speaks to Nightbird. Once you read that book stands on its own. It wasn't originally written to be a book that would be the first part of a series. It was written to be a story. And then that story had more to be told, so it went on from there. But Speaks to Nightbird is a fantastic standalone book. Like I said, my favorite Robert McCammon book. One of my favorite books of all time. And the series moves on. It's got its ups and downs, highs and lows. Leviathan really finishes it off very well. I recommend it. Once you read Speaks to Nightbird, you need to take it to the end, because Robert McCammon really wraps it up nicely. But Lividian Publications has finally got in my grubby mitts the signed, limited, illustrated, numbered, slipcased, fancy edition to this book. It's here. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing it. Getting my Matthew Corbett series finally complete, the limited edition part of that collection anyway. I was at the book party, whatever they called that. I forgot what they call it. Where McCammon was at Alabama Booksmith in Birmingham, Alabama. Signed a bunch of books, put them in people's hands, told a little story and all that kind of stuff. And I really enjoyed that trip. Every time he does it, I try to make plans to be there for it. I love the event. I love meeting my favorite authors. And so I got the trade edition. I think I had an ARC advanced review copy also. I can't remember. They're all here if you want to check it out, see which ones I got, which ones I don't got. Can't remember, but finally, the limited edition is here. And honestly, until I got the email, I was almost thinking I already had this. When I got the email saying it was coming, I thought, wait, don't I already have that? It was about a year ago when the trade came out, it seems. But alas, the limited edition was delayed some, and it is here now. There's a lot more that goes into the limited editions, which we'll see. These are built with more higher quality materials. They have extra things, different stuff, built in a different way, and stuff like that as compared to the trade. So nowadays, Lividian Publications books, Brian James Freeman's moved to Nova Scotia. So shipping stuff back and forth across countries is not as simple as it would have been shipping things within the United States. So now he has his books, for the most part, that are shipping to the United States, shipped from someone in the United States. So they're packaged a little bit differently. And we'll see how this limited edition version and this packaging goes. We've got a book inside a box. Now let's see what this inside box is. So this inside box has foam wrapped around it, if you can see there. And then you got a little foam lid on top. So a book surrounded by foam in a box, in another box, ought to make it to your house safely. Brian James Freeman is the kind of a guy that wants to make sure his customers are always taken care of. I'm not speaking for him. I just speak firsthand as a guy that has been taken care of well by this publisher. And sometimes embarrassingly well on my part. But he always makes it right, even if it isn't right. So here's Leviathan. It's in a bag, in foam, in a box, So let me take it out. A lot of folks, you'll hear talk on the internet, books new, or collectibles in general, new in the package. And so sometimes limited edition book collectors will buy books that'll be wrapped in a bag or shrink wrap or something, and they'll leave it because that's the most pristine, untouched. It's still in the original packaging sort of a thing for collectors. And you'll see the internet hive mind will tell you that is bad. You can't do that. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying that's what they say. And I take my stuff out nowadays. I didn't always. I'll take my stuff out of the bag, look it over, handle it, feel it. Sometimes I'll read these limiteds. Usually I try to read copies that don't matter as much physically, so I don't have to worry about any little damage or mess up that I cause messing up. This book retailed at $175. Now I'm part of the Brian James Freeman Patreon limited edition, so I didn't actually buy it. I pay an annual fee and I get the stuff And this is one that I would have bought guaranteed no matter what. But it is sold out at $175. Let me take it out of this bag and show you what she look like. Remember, always cut the plastic, not the bag. Not the book. Can't even say my own lines properly. I'll leave that in just because I'm dumb and I do dumb stuff. But anyway, cut the plastic, not the book. So we'll take this out and show you what all you get with Lividian publications. So slipcases, it's a box for the book. And I love slipcases. I'm a slipcase guy. And so when Lividian Publications sends their books in quality slipcases that look nice, I'm in. I love it. It's an amazing feature for me. Now, they do something that most others don't do. A lot of publishers over the years would give you a plain slipcase, which is fine. It's fine by me. I got a lot of them that I like that are like that, and I want that slipcase still. And then a lot of other publishers started putting a blind stamping and hot foil and stuff like that on the slipcase itself, which is an upgrade. And a lot of people will put their books on the shelf the wrong way, so that the back of the slipcase sticks out. And now, when you do it like that, it looks good. You know what the book is, the author, you know the publisher. It looks good that way. So that's an upgrade. But then what Lividian done, and I'll show you this real quick before you set it down, what it looks like on the shelf the right way. Just like that. But what Lividian has done is they've upgraded yet again. They put a die-cut window on the front so you can see a little bit of the cover artwork through the hole. Again, upgrade and a feature. And the way they do it is they have this outer coating. Not only is it just cut through, but the outer coating wraps around. So it really looks finished from that front. It's not cut through like a cut off edge. It looks really good. The slipcases are nice. They're thick, they're sturdy. So they're a great job, a great benefit, and a great feature. Now, this limited edition dust jacket artwork is different. The cover artwork is different from the trade. Let me pull the trade. Where's the trade? Pull the trade, pull the string. So here's Leviathan, the trade hardcover edition. And I'll just compare the covers, the cover artwork anyway. The cover artwork is different. The spines are slightly different. And look at here, you can tell the book itself is different. So how much thicker it is, the binding is different. And we'll talk about some of the differences there. But the materials are different, and so many different ways is it different. It's upgraded in practically every way. But that dust jacket artwork is different. Spine is slightly different. The back still has that same picture of the different characters from the series. And in the middle there, Robert McCammon toasting in his nice suit. Nice suit, man. Good suit. And I'm not an expert on suits by any stretch of the imagination, but I do know when one looks good. Let me stretch that dust jacket out so you can see it all stretched out here. This is book 10 in the series, a series that I strongly recommend. If that era doesn't interest you, just take my word for it. McCammon delivers what speaks the Nightbird, and from there I had to read more. But we'll take a look. Smithsonian, quality Smithsonian binding, built-in satin ribbon page marker. The paper is thicker than the trade edition. You got this hot foil stamping on the cover, elaborate cover. The material, it's not leather, but it does have a sort of a texture, almost leatherish texture to it. It looks really good. It feels really good. Considerably heavier. Inside the book is the individually numbered bookmarks. So this Leviathan, book 192, Lividian Publications, with the Vincent Chong artwork there. And then the back also looks really good. I love stuff like that. And Lividian, maybe, they're the first one that comes to mind when I think of book-specific bookmarks that are numbered to match the book number itself. So let's just look ahead here. There is my signature page with the Vincent Chong artwork. Book number 192 of 750 copies, signed by Robert McCammon. Now, I can't remember. So I'm going to check while we're here, while we got all our stuff. I can't remember what my number would have been. So we'll just look at 7 Shades of Evil, the Matthew Corbett collection. collection of short stories here, 8 stories in 7 Shades of Evil. And my number here is number 11. So I got booted off of the number 11 train, and I'll check into that a little bit just to see what happened there. I've got quite a few of these as a number 11. Not all. I don't have a complete number 11 set. So we'll check into that and see what's going on there. But a beautiful edition are end papers. What color is that? I'm colorblind. I'm bad. But you got quality end papers here. The book is illustrated. There are interior illustrations. Typically, Lividian's numbered editions, the illustrations will be black and white. Their lettered editions, they will be colorized. So I'll kind of flip through here, see what I can find in terms of interior illustrations. The artwork, another added feature. And as I typically find, the artwork in Lividian publications is such that usually, it doesn't look like somebody made a picture and they just did a cheap print off of it in black and white, where the picture should have been in color. Typically, these artists are making drawings or making paintings or making pictures that look right in black and white. So it doesn't look like I get some cheap knockoff version with my nice numbered edition. So it works out very well. And this, as you would guess, all of this artwork looks like, hey, it's black and white, and it ought to be black and white. I don't know what the lettered edition artwork will look like, but I believe it's in color. And we'll go through and we'll look at these illustrations here, and then I'll show you a little bit. The text, the paper color, it's kind of creamy. The text size is much, much larger than the trade edition was, so it's much easier on the eyes, easier to read, and such as that. And I'm trying to catch all of the illustrations. I don't want to miss any. And take a look there. You got to read this book. You got a lot of reading to do before you get to this book. It is definitely a series. Some series out there, you can start anywhere you want and you're pretty well all right. Some of the great series that I love. But this is one where you really need to start at the beginning and read your way through. There's a lot built book upon book upon book. So if you jumped in at book 10, you would have no idea about a lot of the relationships and the backstory between people. You would probably be kind of lost. Maybe you'd figure it out, I don't know. But yeah, I feel like you need to start at the beginning and follow it all the way through. So epilogue, there we go. There's the epilogue. You got a little glance. But the epilogue knocked my socks off. It was exciting. A great way to round out the story. And a great way to round out the series itself. I'm so happy that Robert McCammon finished the series. In a way, puts that to bed. Now you know how the story goes. And he didn't keep it running on so long that I got sick of it. And there are some series out there that I love, but after a while, I kind of got tired of it. How much farther can you go? How much farther can you take it? So it is nice when an author says, I got this far to go, and then I got to wrap it up and move on. Now, I'm sure that McCammon may have some ideas in this Matthew Corbett world of stuff that he could write, whether it be in short story form or bringing characters back to do some more stuff. But the Matthew Corbett saga is all wrapped up in a nice little bow, and he did a great job. And I'm glad that Lividian Publications and Brian James Freeman has done it justice. And I've talked a lot about Speaks the Nightbird, book 1. And it's official. There will be a Lividian Publications limited edition version of Speaks the Nightbird. And I've got the original, what was it, Fall River or something like that there. It looks good. Glad to have it. It's one of my favorite books in my collection, but mostly because of what it is, not really how it's made. Poorly crafted, limited edition, signed limited edition book that I feel like my collection must have. But I know Lividian Publications will make a quality version of it that will be better. So, got that going for us, which is nice. That one will be out eventually. I don't know when. Don't know any of these details, but when it does come out, I hope I'm in a position where I can add it to the shelves, because I will. And then with that being said, I can think of no more lies to tell. So thank you for your time. I do truly appreciate it. And say la vie, baby. Doo-doo. Now I got to figure out how to fit it. I had a plan, but I don't think my plan was adequate. I don't think I gave myself enough room here, so I'll have to do some manipulating. Santa has to move over a little bit. Sorry, Santa. Providence Rider, the River of Souls, that one was a lot of fun. They're all fun. But, yeah, I like some better than others. But what a great series. And then King of Shadows, this is where Lividian Publications jumped in, took over. 7 Shades of Evil is a collection. We'll slide it over a little bit to make some room. I'll put the collection at the end, just so that the novel stories can all go together. The collection will be at the end to wrap it all up. They're not in, they're out of order stories anyway. You're out of order, you're out of order. Whole court's out of order. Al Pacino, I don't remember what he said. But great stuff. Looks good. I'll wrap that in a Brodart dust jacket protector. That's that dust jacket, just like the others. Makes them shiny, but I feel like it keeps my dust jackets nice for as long as I want to keep them nice.